We wanted to be a place that demonstrates that God is the one who really builds Patrick Henry College, not us. And so we've taken on an impossible task of building a new college from scratch without any government funding and without debt.
We're resurrecting the idea of education that God originally inspired at the heart of Western civilization and certainly among early generations of American educators.
I believe what George Mueller says, what God orders, he pays for. The fact that we've got such an outstanding faculty at this point in time for such a young college and such outstanding students can't be explained in human terms. It can only be explained in terms that God is moving on the hearts of people.
As Christians, we have a foundation for truth, for goodness, for beauty. One that has shaped the civilization for centuries and centuries.
We're sending a whole bunch of our kids into the farm system, and when they do it with excellence, some of them are going to make it to the majors.
We have a basis for learning the whole range of God's creation.
We believe the facts are ultimately on God's side. So who's afraid of facts? Certainly not Patrick Henry College. Focused on God and His truth, seeking to master the whole tableau of knowledge and to put it to His kingdom purposes.
What I try and help them to understand is that everyone has a worldview, and that all human tasks are done from a particular perspective, from a worldview.
But at the core, we need to know what the truth is.
We want students to know the whole range of truth. We believe in accountability to facts.
We don't teach relativism. We don't teach the notion that all worldviews are equal. It's just a matter of picking the one that works for you. That's not at all what we do.
There are a lot of colleges that talk about how they want to bring God into their study of education. There are a lot of colleges that are Christian colleges that have that focus, but I haven't seen very many colleges or been familiar with very many colleges that want to take that biblical worldview into the classroom for the purpose of getting it out in the culture as actively as we do.
Used to be that Christian colleges were thought to be defenders of faith against reason.
And we try and teach them that the biblical worldview is the true worldview. But we also want to teach them to recognize that they're working in a world where there are many competing worldviews, and that you have to understand and recognize what those are so you can deal effectively with other people in society.
We don't need to defend faith against reason. What's needed in our day and age, and what God is calling us to, is to be defenders of reason because of our faith.
A Christian journalist is never afraid of the truth. A Christian journalist comes in and he has the freedom and the ability to look at the world the way that it really is and see things that their colleagues aren't going to see.
The students that we have here are such a joy to work with. They're so bright and committed and ask such great questions, and they get so involved with whatever we're talking about in class. It's just a joy for a teacher to work with students like that.
They're impressive. They're very impressive. And part of our job, of course, is to deflect their focus from themselves. Because, if you've got skills and talents, you can notice your own skills and talents. We aim to deflect their attention to God and to the facts of the world so that they can be real servants.
When we see that combination of really smart and a humble spirit, the way that God can use such a person is unlimited. If people invest in those young people on a systematic basis, we can train up the next generation of leaders with confidence, that knowing that they are going to walk in the right way in the years ahead.
I think the mission of Patrick Henry College is to equip people, to train people, to basically get people ready, to get Christians in particular ready to go out into the real world and make a difference for Christ.
I have several friends here. My closest friends are from public school backgrounds. They didn't really even grow up knowing anyone who was homeschooled, and they found this to be an exceptionally accepting environment where they can grow spiritually and relationally and academically.
I don't want this college to be in a position where, with some change of policy or future administration or whatever, we're at the mercy of the federal government's every wind of changing doctrine. Most other Christian colleges take federal aid. Their students come with Pell Grants and SEOGs and federally subsidized student loans. billions of dollars come to Christian colleges through federal aid. We get none of it. But it does mean that we have to raise money that would otherwise be provided to us by the federal government.
We need financial supporters. We need people who will invest in this college for its future.
If you combine Christ-centered character and the academics that we get here, that creates the potential for a student to go out and make an impact on the culture for Christ today.
What we're really interested in is having God speak to people to join us. I mean, God spoke to me to join Mike Ferris. I think God has spoken to hundreds of families across the U.S. who have joined us as financial supporters. Without their support, it wouldn't happen.
But the foundation of this college really is our scholarship program. And for that, we need people who will invest $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, those kind of mid-range kinds of gifts. We need thousands of people who will do that.
We don't go out and borrow money to do things. We ask God to provide. And the benefit of that is we retain our liberty.
The standard by which I want Patrick Henry College to be judged is, did we produce those heroes of faith that will stand strong, will fight for what's right? Sometimes we'll lose, sometimes we'll win, but overall we're going to see our nation taking steps in the right direction toward those principles of righteousness and freedom and justice.